With the current accommodation crisis here in the UK, coupled with high costs incurred by landlords to improve their homes to meet the environmental health measures set out by authorities, you are more likely to pay high or pay so much for your rent or for the house that you would want to buy. For which reason, a lot of people are looking for various ways to cut down costs while living in the property. And one of them is to know how much energy saving the property is, or how much energy efficient the property is. So if you're interested in this video, I'm going to take you through what you would want to see while you go for viewing when it comes to the energy performance of the property. Stay tuned. So here in the UK, before a landlord rents out or sells out their properties, they must have acquired an energy performance certificate. Okay, there are a few exceptions to this anyway. So place of worship do not need an energy performance certificate. If the building is going to be used temporarily for less than 2 years, it doesn't need an energy performance certificate. And also, a residential building that is intended to be used for less than 4 months in a year does not require an energy performance certificate. Okay, so what at all is an energy performance certificate? So energy performance certificate is basically a certificate that spells out how energy efficient a property is. Okay, so it will detail out to you how much cost you are likely to incur on your heating, on your lighting, on your hot water while you stay in that property. Okay, the energy performance certificate has a lot of other information, and as we go on in the video, you'll be able to know what kind of information you will see or you're likely to see in your EPC. Now, before a landlord is able to get that certificate, the property goes through a robust assessment. So an assessor will come into the property and then take some photographs and do some checks and all that. So they check the age, the size, and the material is built from. Most of the time, old houses tend to have very bad rating, whereas the newer ones, are meeting the environmental health measures. So they are putting in a lot of improvements, and then it is increasing their rating. They also check the main source of heating and then heat control, such as the thermostats and the thermostatic radiator valves. They also check other heat sources, including renewable energy sources. They check insulation, if the walls are insulated or not. So normally the insulated ones tend to have a good rating because it's able to conserve, the property is able to conserve energy, and then you tend to pay less on your utilities. They also check the windows. If the window is single glazed, then you are definitely going to lose heat. Okay, whereas if it is double glazed or triple glazed, you tend to conserve energy and spend less on your heating. Also, they check the lighting. If the light you're using in your home is energy saving, you tend to save a lot more on your utilities, whereas if it is not, you will be losing a lot of money to utility bills. So they do a robust check before they issue out a certificate. So the certificate is called out of 100 with a rating from A to G. But here in the UK, for a building to pass as a residential place, it needs to have a minimum of E. Okay, A is actually the best and G is the worst. So if you have an EPC rating of a D, that is considered as an average in the UK, and that is okay. But if you have a rating of A or B, then you should be looking to pay very little on your utilities. However, if you have a rating of say E, then you are going to pay a lot more on your utilities. So with regards to the score, from 92% upwards, the property is rated an A. 81 to 91 is rated a B. 69 to 80 is rated a C. 55 to 68 is rated a D. 39 to 54 is rated an E. 21 to 38 is rated an F, and 1 to 20 is rated a G. As I said earlier, A is the best and G is the worst. But as I said earlier, here in the UK, before you can rent out the place or sell the property for a residential purpose, it needs to have a minimum of a rating of E. It shouldn't go below E. Okay, so that is that. Most of the time, these letting agents, when they are advertising their properties online, they tend to write the energy rating of the property. So let's say you're looking at a property and it has an EPC rating of a D. Okay, and then you don't, because you have seen it online, you don't bother to even look at the EPC. You move into this property, then you start paying very high amount on your utility. Then you check the certificate later and you would see that it has a score of 55. 55 to 68 is a D, but 39 to 54 is an E. So you are very close to an E even though it is a D. That is why it is very, very important to see the certificate itself to know the score of that property. Most importantly, if you are looking to buy, maybe if you are looking to rent, you have a chance, you have a choice of, you know, leaving the property later. But if you are looking to buy the property, an EPC is very, very important to you, because if you are looking at other houses or you have options of a property to buy, then you would want to see the EPC, and then that would help you to decide which of them you want to go for. Why do I say so? Later in this video, I'm going to delve into the information that you'll be looking at when you're looking at an EPC. Amongst them is the cost of improving the property. Okay, so if you're looking to improving the property, how much you're likely to spend is also spelled out in the EPC. So if you have options of a house that you're looking to buy, then you can compare the prices of the improvements that you are looking to do in the property to meet the energy requirements or to meet the environmental health requirements. That will help you to know which of them to look out for, which of them meets your budget. Then you will decide which of the properties you go for. So it's very, very important. So what kind of information are we looking at when we are going through an EPC? So you will find information about the property, including its address and the dwelling type of that property. So if you are moving into a property and you have seen clearly that the property is a terraced, okay, and then you are shown a certificate, immediately you will be able to tell that it is for that terraced building and not a semi-detached. Okay, so if a letting agent shows you an EPC and you see that the information on there has got details of a semi-detached building, because it will tell you the property or the dwelling type, and then it says on the certificate that the property is a semi-detached building, and you can clearly see that it's a terraced building, then you know that it is not the valid EPC that the person is showing you. So this is a very important information on that EPC. Also, you will get to see the date of the assessment and the date of issue for the certificate itself. So ideally, when you're looking at a certificate, it should be within 10 years. If you are seeing a certificate that was issued more than 10 years, then you're not looking at a valid EPC. Okay, so the third information you're likely to see is the estimated energy cost for a 3-year period, including lighting, heating, and hot water. The fourth thing is that you're going to see the parts of the home where energy efficiency could be improved. So if the improvement is needed at the windows, it will be spelled out in them. If probably the windows need to be double glazed or triple glazed, it will be spelled out in the recommendation section and all that. If an insulation also is needed in the walls, it will be spelled out in the recommendation as well. Also, another information you are likely to see in the EPC is the current and potential energy efficiency rating for the property in question. So usually you will see the current rating of the building and then the potential rating of the building. So the potential rating of the building is usually a better one, which will be attained if the improvements are done. Another information you're likely to see in the EPC is a summary of the property's energy performance features. Another thing is the parts of the property that release little or no carbon. Another information is information about the government's Green Deal scheme. So the Green Deal scheme is basically about loans that are given to landlords or owners of properties to be able to improve their homes to meet the environmental health measures, and then later they would pay it back. Another information you would see also is the property's heat demand. So all of this information will at the end of the day inform you whether how much you are likely to spend on your utilities is actually within your budget, and then you make plans for it. For a landlord, an EPC is not very expensive. There is no set price for an EPC, okay? However, you can budget around £60 to £150 depending on the size of the property and even the location of it. And it doesn't take too long to get the assessment done. It can take about an hour or maybe less depending on the size of the property. So for you as a tenant or as a buyer, before you even go to do your viewing, you can also check to see the EPC rating of the property online. So you can get to see the rating as well as the score for the building before you even go for the viewing in the first place. However, like I said, all the other information relating to how much you're going to spend on the utilities and how much you're likely to save if you do the improvements, or what kind of improvements there is for that property, then you will need to see the EPC itself, and you need to ask for it from the letting agent or the landlord before you move into the property. As a matter of fact, if you have watched my other videos on here, so I have a video here that tells you your basic rights as a tenant. If you have watched that video, you would know that seeing the EPC is your right. So you can ask to see the EPC when you go on your next house viewing, okay? I hope this video is helpful. I'm going to leave a link in my description box to the website that would allow you to check the energy rating or the EPC rating for your property or the property you're looking to move into. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and share for others to also benefit. See you in my next video. Bye.